What will you do when this is all over? What will you be like? What would have changed? And what will remain the same? Will you be sucked back into the busyness of life? Forced to run at an unsustainable pace? Forced to act as if you're always playing catch up, as society feeds you the lies of scarcity and deficiency? Or will you finally be able to pause, be still, and hear the birdsong? Will you take time to be surrounded by nature? Or will you go back to being stuck around people 24/7? Will you have time to hear your own thoughts? Not only to hear, but to process your own thoughts and create a coherent line of thinking? Or will you go back to putting things on hold until never o'clock? Will you finally embrace the concept of slowing down, of pacing yourself, not for a moment, but as a lifestyle? Well, will you? I know this might not be the best situation, but I'm hoping it'll help bring out the best me. So, what do you hope for at the end of all of this?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lamade. So today I'm going to speak about slowing down, the importance of it, why you need to slow down, what stops you from slowing down, and how we can all slow down together.
The future is now.
When I talk about slowing down, I always have to think about what does that actually look like in practice. So for me, a slowed down life is one that is lived in a sustainable pace, somebody that does things for themselves and not for others, and is somebody that lives life wholeheartedly. So that means they don't try to do everything at once, but they pace themselves for them to be able to have different experiences at different ages. When I looked at my life, I realized that that was not me. I was trying to fit like a lifetime's work in like a 10-year bracket, and that made me go so much faster than I needed to, and it was just unsustainable. So when I think of why that was the case, I think it's the idea, firstly, partly to do with society and the condition of society. So like how you must do everything at once, you must be a self-made billionaire at 30, you must have retired by 45, and all these things and these goals and ideals that firstly are too pressurizing and frankly unnecessary. This is something I've known I had to do since literally like the beginning of the year, because I was always tired, and it's like it's not normal to be chronically tired at 21. So I had to take time out. Well, coronavirus basically ensured that I actually slowed down, because though I knew I hadn't actually put any things in place to ensure that happened. So being in lockdown has just allowed me to actually reevaluate the tasks that I do, the things that I participate in, the things that I do, the way I like evaluate the way I would want to live my life, because I literally remember the beginning of the year I created like a vision board for like 2020 to 2030, and I did that, like this is more like a life board, like a lifetime of goals rather than something I need to accomplish by 21 to 31. Like it's just not necessarily that I don't believe it's going to happen, but like, why does it all have to happen within this period? So the reason I struggled was, speaking of past tense because I'm not that person anymore in Jesus' name, but the reason I struggled with slowing down is it's not only the societal pressures, but it was more the case that I felt like if I was doing nothing, then I was just like wasting away. And now I say out loud, it's actually a very like flawed and problematic way to live life, because why is that the case? Why do you need to always be doing something to prove that like your existence is of value? I'm learning how to be more of a human being rather than like a human doing, or human doer, if that's correct English. I'm reading a book called Daring Greatly by Brene Brown, and she was talking about like a narcissistic person essentially, and their fear of being ordinary. And I realised, I was like, perhaps I'm quite narcissistic then. The fear of being ordinary is like it's just like a nightmare. Like what? I'm that person that like everything is just normal. But then I realized that a special person doesn't need to prove they're special. They are just special, and others are able to recognize that. So similarly, I don't need to be doing 10,000 things to show that I'm special. I just need to be me. It's been a very interesting road. I'm definitely not there yet, but I do know that I am better than I was before. Like now, I do things that I enjoy rather than doing things that will make me seem as if I'm like the best person ever. So in terms of tips on how to slow down actively, I don't know, it's hard to give tips when you're still in the process of it, because I know I'm not like an expert at all, but I'm gonna share what has been helping me. So things that have helped me slow down, aside from like just the realization that just gotta chill out, journaling has definitely helped. Like anytime I feel pressure to rush or to just do everything at once, I just write down the root of the feelings, like why. So I ask myself like why do you feel like this? What has caused you to feel like this? And just put it down on paper, so when I can read it, you realize that it's not that it's nonsense, but like the emotions and thoughts behind the urge to rush is just not right, so then you can mitigate it essentially. So journal, speak to someone. So I speak to like my friends and just tell them like, just why I feel the way I feel. I have people that I go to when I feel rushed or just feel as if I need to do everything, and even when I have opportunities that may be good but not really beneficial or may just make me speed up. So in second year, my flatmate and best friend basically helped me to decide what activities I'll participate in. So essentially, if it wasn't for my uni work or if it wasn't to aid Liv, I wasn't allowed to do it, and I would always have to check in with her if I was able to do it or not. And then over time, I was able to decide for myself what I could do based on that metric. So does it help with X, Y, and Z? If not, you say no. And thirdly, I would say declutter and recenter. So anytime I clean my room, I always feel better. I know it might be a small thing, but just like when my room is messy, I just feel very like agitated. I always feel as if I need to be in a rush. But when my room is just nice and neat, my bed is made, there's the washers in the laundry, the laundry's in the washing machine, it's just like, yes. And I'll just finally say actually that you just need to take it one day at a time. Like you're not going to go from running 100-meter race at such a fast speed to actually realizing that life is a marathon and you might need to run slower. So be kind to yourself, take it easy, and just know you're not the only one. Like we're all in this together, and we'll finally move at a pace that's sustainable in Jesus' name. Amen. But yeah, no, that's all I have to say for today really. I hope this has helped someone. I just decided to share this because it's something I'm figuring out myself, so I thought it would be best for us to figure it out together. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Like, share and subscribe. Bye.